They just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative. Regurgitating the same old every single day without the truth. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's a film, TV review, everything, and football and spacemen and whatever you want to talk about on this Saturday morning. I've just woke up, just got up, had a quick cup of tea, quick breakfast of, half a pound of bacon, dozen eggs, the usual porridge and cornflakes and frosties and 5 rounds of toast. So anyway, here I am. Freezing again. Do you know what? I hate being cold. I really do. Excuse me. Anyway, there's a few films that, I've got lined up to talk about. Well, not to talk about, but, for you to watch. One of them, believe it or not, is a thing called Primate. It's new, it's brand new. And Primate is about a pet monkey, chimpanzee. I'll tell you a bit about that just a bit later on. Oh, Mary Page. Hey, Mary. Hi, Frank and friends. I wonder if Myra had looked at some of the films. And Myra says you could make a movie. What is happening these days in the world? Yeah. Yes. You could. Absolutely right there, Myra. Thing is as well, Trump's been ridiculed. Remember when I said on my Friday night show, I think I said it on ordinary shows as well, what right does America, especially Trump, to put tariffs on other countries? What right do they have to do that? And it's just been absolutely ridiculed by the USA Supreme Court. So he's in a lot of trouble as a soft lad. Well, he's a dangerous man, as you know. Very dangerous. So you're right there, Myra. The boss. Greetings, FC and friends, and all out yesterday with Frank. All our yesterdays is that, yes. Good morning, Frank. And chat says the tea. And like and subscribe on your way in, please. Thank you, T. Thank you so much, mate. Good morning, Myra, says the T. The boss. It's nice when you let on to one another, I'm being honest. Yeah, this film called Primate. It's brand new. As I said, it's about a pet monkey. Thing is, you see, they're, the usual girls. And he said, one of them says, do you want to come, back home with me? They go to see me dad, who lives in Hawaii. Yeah, okay. So they go over there. In the meantime, the monkey becomes rabid. So I'll just leave it at that. Another one is called Parable. Parable. And when I had this on, it's about a group of people in a loft, high-rise loft. And there's no way out. They couldn't get out. And I thought, this is going to be about, very similar to a film made a few years ago called The Cube, where they couldn't get out, if you know what I mean. So I thought, So anyway, as I was watching it, as I said, it's about a group of people who are stuck in this loft, couldn't get out or anything. Even two of them find a way up to the roof or whatever it was, balcony. And they were shouting down to these people who were passing. And the people took a blind bit of notice. They were just walking past, So they were, what's going on? Anyway, they find there's another person. There's about 7 of them, 6 or 7 of them. And strangely enough, they're all young, youngish in the 20s. And there's one 30-odd-year-old. And then this particular other person who was just lying, they thought that she was dead. This woman thought she was dead. And she comes around. And that's where the film starts. It's called Parable. If you want to watch it, watch it. I've only got through halfway through, And I thought, typical American stuff. But I will watch till the end to see what happens, because I have an idea what's going to happen anyway. I have an idea. That's called Parable. So there's 2 films, and the third film I watched. You might think I'm swearing here, but I'm not. Excuse me. There's a stately home called Fackham. Fackham. Fackham Hall. Stately home. So you can take from the title, you can actually see where this is going. Excuse me, I'm awfully sorry about this. As I said, I've just jumped up. So anyway, it's Fackham Hall. It's about eccentric, hoity-toity people. That's the only way I can say it. Damian Lewis is in it, the Liverpool actor. Great actor as well, Damian Lewis. So he's in it. And if you want to watch Fackham Hall, watch it. But what I have been watching is old films, the likes of Hitchcock when he first kicked off here in England, the country, before he went to America. Hitchcock. And there's one called Young and Innocent. Young and Innocent. And it's a cracking little thriller. It's about a fellow who, as you see him walking along the top of a hill. And as he's walking along, he looks down to the river, to the sea, to the beach. And he sees this body, being washed ashore. And he runs down. He runs down. And he looks at it, this woman. She's in a bathing costume, but, he looks. And he runs back up the hill to get help. But in the meantime, two girls are coming from the other direction, and they look at this particular body, only a very, very short distance away, about 20 yards, say, away. And they're running over, and as they're running over, they look and they see this young fella, running up the hill to get help. Unfortunately, he gets accused of murder. It's called Young and Innocent. It's a black and white one, but you can get it colorized on YouTube. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it rather than what you're getting today, full of woke and everything else, and Americans. I'm sorry, you saved the world. Without America, there'd be no world. And yet it's the total opposite of what's going on today. I think they're trying to end the world. Trump is anyway. So this is what you've got. Hitchcock. And there's another film with Laurence Olivier. And again, it's in the 30s. And Vivian Leigh, who later, was his wife. I don't know whether he was married then or what. But anyway, they're in a film called 21 Days. 21 Days. And I thought that was intriguing as well. Again, it's done in the 30s. The film was made in the 30s. It's not about the 30s, if you know what I mean. So it's about a fella, and he's just knocking around with this girl, Vivian Leigh. The fella is, obviously, Larry Olivier. To me, he was the greatest of all actors, Laurence Olivier. Anyway, he's knocking about with her. And he's got a brother in it who's a top barrister waiting to become a judge. He's going to be appointed a judge. And this is where the intriguing stuff starts. Now, the fella who plays his brother, the judge, the up-and-coming judge, or newly appointed judge, is Leslie Banks. Now, Leslie Banks, you might know, but you can't put a face to him, put it that way, when I mentioned his name. But Leslie Banks, you have seen in old films. You have seen him. And Leslie Banks is a war hero from the First World War. A war hero. So anyway, but that's by the by. That's by the by. You know, there's been many war heroes who were actors. Anyway, this is another film. As I said, it's called 21 Days. It's not about war or anything because this was done before the Second World War. Second World War, because Leslie Banks was a hero in the First World War, if you know what I mean. But that's just a little bit of trivia. So it's called 21 Days. And as I said, it's about a fella and a girl. Just watch it, rather than me telling you what it's about. Because something happens between the girl and the fella. You know, they love each other. You know, you can tell that they love each other. And then all of a sudden, they buy a bottle of wine and they're going back to their place. But there's someone in that place waiting for them. And that's where it begins. 21 days. It's well worth a watch. But that's me, you see. Then I started to watch because I'm fed up with all this wokeness, I'm afraid. There's another film, latest film, you know, that's only come out, and it's called The Whale, or something about whale, just a whale. Again, about two young, you know, Americans, girls, who decide to go to Thailand, go in the water. There's the two girls and this fella, you know. The fella gets eaten by the whale. So if you want to watch that, watch it. Whale, it's called. So I decided to stop all this, you know. I started to watch propaganda films. Because I love propaganda films. Let me put. I actually wrote them down, believe it or not, because I won't forget them. One of the greatest propaganda films during the Second World War was In Which We Serve. So I'll let you know what they are, right? I'll just see what you've been saying. Fuck. Put something fucking down and it moves. Oh, fuck. I'm a nuisance, aren't I? A nuisance to myself. See what you've been saying. Jesus. The boss says, I watched the highly recommended On the Beach with Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner, 1959 film. Nuclear Holocaust. Acting and script a bit dated in my opinion, but still relevant. You know what, Frank? Yeah, I do, actually. I don't mind the Peck, Gregory the Peck. I think he was a good man in real life as well. There was no infidelity from him. There was nothing like that. Ava Gardner, on the other hand, you know, beautiful lady. But I think she was abused as well by people. I'm going to do something about Hollywood at one point and the abuse that went on. Excuse me. Excuse me. Fucking hell. I'm awfully sorry about this. I really am. Anyway, Trump is mad. That's Obama for letting out the classified information on aliens. It's all nonsense. It's all distraction. I did something about the aliens last night and about that, actually. Gary. And I had, how many viewers did I have? I had 52,000 views. 52,000, they were all looking in. When I was talking about aliens, and I was showing the alien things, the UAPs or the UFOs. And every single one of them have been thoroughly investigated, analysed, carbon copy, everything. And all the UFOs that I shown last night were real. These people said, well, whatever's in the sky, it's real. It's not like phony. No one's thrown anything up. They're real. Every single one of them. But I've shown all the UFOs. I'm not messing, by the way, when I say that. They were all authentic. They couldn't say they were phony. And experts looked at them. But as regards as Obama saying about alien, I don't know why he said, in all honesty, there's nothing in Area 51. Why did he say? Was it a red flag? I don't know. But Obama hates Trump and Trump hates Obama. I don't like Obama. I don't like any American president. They're all warmongers. They're all puppets. Every single one of them are puppets. Don't know whether you're aware of that. They can't come out with a decision for themselves. It's someone else telling them what to say and what to do. Well, you should know that now. But this is a film and TV review. But you're right, Gary. Hello, Frank in chat, says Paulie. Hiya, Paulie. Hiya, Paulie, mate. Myra says hello. TW says hello. And the T says to me, Frank, have you seen The Night Manager? 2 seasons, 12 episodes. I was asked to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. TW, I haven't seen it. Fucking hell. Sam, come on. Why do I come in here and get an itchy nose here? Once you go out, am I right? Really gets me down, Really? Doing this all the time. It's itchy. Just dead itchy there. Brando and Duval. The Night Manager. No, I seen something very simple. It was a film with Val Kilmer. But it was a film where he was a janitor or something in this big store. or flats. Forget now. The night manager. That's been recommended to me, the night manager, to be honest, say so. I might have a look at it at that time. I might have said through too much woke and political indoctrination in the yes. Well, the likes of this parable, I think that there's a bit of wokeness in that as well. But I will watch it till the end. I will watch it till the end. As I said, I've only watched it halfway through. Hey, Myra, says Paulie. Myra says to Paulie, it was good these days. I try to be good. Only God is good. That's it. No, you're not a good person, Myra, you know. And you're in good company with these lot, you know. These are good people. Albeit they call me for everything. But I forgive them for being cheeky to me. You are humble, says Paulie. I like that. We're all humble, aren't we? Myra says, did Gary block me? No, Gary wouldn't block you, Myra. Gary's not like that. Gary comes on, he's a busy person and gets off, then comes back again. Gary wouldn't block you. I'm telling you now. Believe that, please, Myra. As I said, they're all good people on here, every single one of them. Like yourself, good person. And as you know, that you and I have both the same ideology, if you like. That's why we see each other on different podcasts. What we're mostly interested in. And Lee Argent. Lee, good lad, Lee. He's a scouser like myself, Myra, Lee Argent. Get out of here, cheeky thing. John Ozzy from all this shame. I'm not like Zelensky, to be honest, Paulie. But it just goes itchy. I don't know why. Maybe it's dust. I don't know. You know, you always get dust, no matter how clean your home is. I'm not saying this is clean, but no matter how clean your home is, you'll always find dust floating about. Have a look at your own homes when, the sun comes out and you see it coming through the window. You do see all the dust flying about, don't you? So I think that's it here. Getting up my bloody nut right around the edge. But it's mostly this nostril here. Mostly this. And then you see me doing that now and again as well. But that's unfortunately is a condition I have. And sorry for being ignorant. What is woke? You're not ignorant. Woke. You've heard of the, the terminology, snowflakes and things like that, haven't you? all the liberal sort of viewpoints. That's wokeness. That's wokeness. I don't like woke. I won't watch anything with woke in. But I think the parable what I've mentioned, that bit of woke in there. Have a look at it, Paulie, and you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean about woke. I'm fucking freezing already. Right, so that's Fakamall, Parable, and Primate, and Whale. They're the three latest ones. 4 latest ones. If you want to watch new films. Morning, Frank and chat. Bit rough. Peter Sheard, 70th last night. You know the family. Watch the movie with Judge Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, The Judge is good. It's a good film. But I don't mind Robert Downey. I think he's all right. I think I mentioned this ages ago. I had people up in Hope Street, and we were outside the Philharmonic Hall. I was showing them it, And then I looked over, and there was Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. And I said to the group, just hang on. I said, I'm going over there. So I went over, shook hands with them. That's what they were doing here. And they were doing Sherlock Holmes, but they were staying in Hope Street Hotel. Nice fella. Even Jude Law, he's a nice person. They never told me to leave. Asked me what I was doing. And I told them. So, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is good. I like those. There was 2 films, Sherlock Holmes, with them 2 in. I thought they were good. Just stop making them. So, at CW, maybe you need one of those air purifiers in the room. Tell you what I do need. I need a fucking heater in the room. I am absolutely freezing. I've got a radiator over there. It's not worth a carrot. Yeah, maybe so. And that's a good idea, actually. An air purifier. I've had one of them in the past. But it says it's really annoying, this, when I get it. Honestly. Paulie gives me the thumbs up. Right, so let me get through these. I think they're great. I love them, I really do. See, why I watch these, I hate propaganda, by the way. You've got to understand, I hate modern day propaganda. You'd even hear me on the introduction when we first come on about the propaganda. But we needed it back in the day when the Germans were bombing the fuck out of us. I'm talking about our families. So they needed something to give them a lift. So they went to the cinema and they got a lift by all the propaganda films. I'm not saying that they believed everything, but they had to believe in something. They had to believe in hope that everything will turn out all right. And so you had the propaganda films. And I've got a little list of them here. One of our aircraft is missing. Good film. Made in, I think it was 1940, 42 or something like that. One of our aircraft is missing. And it's more or less a battle of survival. We dive at dawn. Obviously, it's submarine with Millsies in it. But what I like about them as well is you see all the stalwarts, all the old actors, actresses. You see them much younger as well than what you in later years when we started to watch films and television, if you know what I mean. Pimpernel Smith. With Leslie Howard. Really good film. Again, pure propaganda. Pimpernel Smith. And it's about this fella he goes to Germany and he's smuggling out people. It's very parallel with the Scarlet Pimpernel, where the Scarlet Pimpernel was smuggling out the aristos in 1789 during the French Revolution to bring them to safety. And this is what, 100 years hence, and this is what the other fellas do. Well, 150 years hence. And this is what the other fellas do, Pimpernel Smith, smuggling people out of Germany to safety in England. But it's purely propaganda. Another one, which I thoroughly enjoyed, Night Train to Munich. Margaret Lockwood, Rex Harrison. And don't forget Rex Harrison, the lad from Huyton, who did well. He actually played Julius Caesar, one of my great military heroes, in real time, by the way. Took me on film. So yes, Pimpernel Smith, A Night Train to Munich. It's good. Again, it's a good propaganda film. You've got to understand and empathise with your relatives during the war, sitting in a cinema. They'd be made up, going, yeah, F those Germans. Watch it. And Paulie says the two Sherlock films are excellent. Were excellent. Conspiracy and What Yes. I like Nigel Bruce and Basil the Ratbone as Sherlock. Is it true, Basil, as you've heard of the Ratbones, haven't you? Some of the greatest philanthropists in Liverpool, there was about 6 William Ratbones. Every single one of them were brilliant. Paulie, the Ratbones. Do you ever remember Ratbone bread? I go back though, So when unfortunately, now, all the local bread, if you know what I mean, is gone now. I used to be a van boy when I was 15, believe it or not. Every Saturday for lunch bakery, because they would buy us. There was Scott's Bakery next door. And I'm talking about big bakeries, with big vans and that delivered bread all over the place. I used to go up to Southport with this driver, fucking arsehole as well he was. The driver. He'd be well gone now. He'd be well gone. Called him Piggy because he was always eating the cakes. And he used to say to me, hey, I'd have a cake. And I used to go, no, thanks. Because when he was eating them, it was all over his fucking nose and everything. 15 years of age, getting up and being there at lunch for 5 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't walk to the lunch at 4:30, could you? In the morning. As a 15-year-old. Not today, anyway. Times have changed, my friends. Yeah, Basil Rathbone, a great Liverpool connection. And don't forget Basil Rathbone. What did he join? He was a war hero, by the way. Basil Rathbone in the First World War. And he was a war. And what did he join? And became mates with him as well. I hope you know, when I mention this fella, I hope you know who he is. If you don't, I'm going to kick your head in when I see you. Anyway, Basil Rathbone joined the Liverpool Scottish and he became friends with none other than the double VC. Who is it? Who's the double VC? Any idea? You tell me. But anyway, he became friends with him. Our double VC. And this lad lived in Abercrombie Square with his family. I'll tell you who it is. It's Noel Shavas. I hope you know him. But he became friends with him. And believe it or not, Basil Rathbone should have been awarded a Victoria Cross. A Victoria Cross. Just a minute. One moment, please. Un momento. That's my Victoria Cross. See? Fuck. Didn't know I had a Victoria Cross, did you? Well, Basil the Ratbone should have had one of them. He should have had one. Because he was mentioned in dispatches. And how he didn't get one is beyond. And this is one of the great Victoria Crosses. John Kirk, Liverpool's first recipient. And I have written a play about him, and I was getting put on. Everything was organised, tickets printed, everything. It was going out in the June. They had the cast, everything. It was going to be shown at St. George's Hall. And COVID come along. And COVID was a load of fucking bollocks, as you know. And it stopped me, it stopped you, it stopped everyone. When they thought, I tell you what, can we control the globe? Can we control the world? And they did. That was their aim, to control the world. Brought this COVID thing. And remember the lockdowns all around the world? All around the world. And if you were seen, you could be arrested and put in jail. Out and about, that is. Controlled, so it never went on. And the lad who was going to direct it and star in it, a friend of mine, died. Not during COVID. Good actor, great actor. Great Liverpool actor. And he said, can I direct that? I said, yeah. I've got the poster and everything there in my living room. A reflection of Dickens. A reflection of Dickens. What did Dickens have to do with it? Well, if the play ever goes on, you'll be able to find out what did Charles Dickens have to do with Liverpool's first recipient of the Victoria Cross. But that's me. Now I'm upset. So there's loads of connections, obviously, Paulie. Basil Ratbone, the Ratbones. And the lovely Myra says, a good supervillain is Professor James Moriarty as the arch nemesis of Sherlock Holmes. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. And Arthur Conan Doyle, he actually killed him off. He killed Sherlock off. But the people of, the country around the world as well, whatever. And you can't kill him off. He's great Sherlock. So we had to bring him back. He survived the fall into a torrent river. He survived it. But there's only one Sherlock Holmes, and that's Basil Rathbone. Perfect. Perfect. I'm sorry about this. It's got to be here. I'm finished now. I've got to see the, excuse me, Jesus. I've got to go and see the spinal cord and neurologist this week. Oh, well, the coming week. I might ask about the Morning, Frank and boys and girls, says the droopy dog. Morning, droopy. Morning, droopy. And Frank, I'm a few episodes in on the sci-fi show Fringe. I really like it. Sad loss of Mr. Duval, great actor. I read about him, and he really thought that he was the star of What's Behind Me. And he was just a bit player, really, in it, because the main characters were Brando and Pacino and James Caan. They were the main characters. He wanted, I want to be on money like him. You know, no, sorry, mate. You're not. So he decided, I'll walk away. So he was a bit of a fucking big head, in all honesty. I'm thinking of a film. Have a look at a film called Jack Reacher. Now, there's two Jack Reachers made, and there's one getting made now with Tom Cruise. And Duval is actually in that. One of them. He's in one of them. I don't know what one. Forget. But he's good in that. He's good in that. Duval. But I don't like greed. I don't like people who thinks that they're better than someone, if you know what I mean. But those people, the likes of Brando and Pacino at the time, well, it was Brando, really. They carried the film. No one had heard of Duval. They carried The Godfather. No one had heard of Pacino, but you see he stood out. Pacino, as Michael Corleone. No, I haven't watched Fringe. I don't watch terrestrial telly. Sci-fi, but I like sci-fi. But I've watched some sci-fi. I wouldn't even fucking put it on my list for you to watch. Shocking. I'm saying that's not proper sci-fi. Oh, fuck. Frank, on Sherlock Holmes, says the Droop. For me, Jeremy Brett, brilliant. Jeremy Brett was the best, and that TV reimagining was the real feel for me about the great Conan Doyle books. I do like the Ratbone movies, very good. You see, he was a drug addict, wasn't he? And he couldn't play the violin or anything like that. And I hope you realise that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, when he was at uni, see, I got the shit down here now. Fucking hell. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, look, everything that's written, you know, you just don't get a writer who goes, well, tell you what, I think I'll write about that. These are based on real life people, you know. I mean, characters. Sherlock Holmes was based on a fella at uni he used to solve little mad things at university. He used to solve them, like robberies and things like that. And the fellow was tall, and he has a very prominent face with a very prominent long nose. And he used to have his hair brushed back. And that's who it was based on. It's like, believe it or not, James Bond. James Bond was based on a real life character who could speak several languages, perfectly, without an accent. Say like a German, came over. I want 3 bottles of milk and 1 loaf. See what I mean? I want 3 loaves and 3 bottles of milk, please. So they got the accent. I'm not being funny when I'm. They have an accent. This fella didn't. Whether he was speaking Mandarin, German, Italian, Russian, whatever. Spanish, didn't have an accent. Based on a real life intelligence officer. James Bond. And if I tell you who it was based on, you wouldn't believe me. Because this fella, you all know. And you'll go, really? He was in intelligence in the Second World War. And he used to go behind enemy lines. He was always in Berlin. Think about it. Dropped in Germany, made his way to Berlin so he could do some work. A well-known actor. Bond. That's why like Sherlock Holmes, suppose they got Idris Elba, let's say, great actor, great black actor, playing Sherlock Holmes, would it be right? Would it be right? It's like, say like Stephen Graham playing, let's for example, the Chinese detective. Stephen's not a Chinese, you see. So it'll be wrong. And there are things called, the Chinese detective books and that. And he was very good. Wonder why, I forget who wrote them. And I always said that why he wrote them is because the very first detectives 2,000 years ago were Chinese. In China, by the way. They had the first police force to detect criminals, murderers, thieves, you name it. So the first police force in the world, especially detectives, was in China. Hence the Chinese detective. And Paulie says, love the rat bone bread. There were 5 of us kids, and to make the dinner go further and to fill up a plate of bread and butter was served usually a full loaf, yeah. I'm glad you remembered the rat bones, Paulie. And he comes from that family, Basil the rat bone. And his parents went to South Africa to promote the Ratbone thing. But he came back to England, as I said, as a young man, Basil, and became a war hero in the First World War, and great friends with Noel Shavas. They used to play pranks on themselves, on each other. Pranks, you know, and someone said, well, why are you always playing? They got brought before the, you know, they were both officers, by the way. They were brought before the colonel or someone. Why are they? They said, well, you know, it's monotony. We're seeing people dying every day. We're trying to save lives. We've got to have some sort of imagination to get away from the horrors of war. That was said to them. The colonel, who never had a fucking clue about anything. These horrible elitists. That's him, Shavas. One of my great heroes, Shavas. Frank, you're a wealth of historic information, says the Droop. Do you reckon? No, it's. I'm going to do something about Hollywood, actually. Me and Anthony Brown, because, you know, we know a little bit about Hollywood and how women were treated. Women. You know, these are the stars that you see in old films and whatever, even today's films, how they were treated. Not men. But, you know, men will come into the equation. Men who you think are, you know, these great big macho fellas. Nope. I'll surprise you. So we don't know when I'll be doing a few weeks, I think. Oh, the lovely Myra's gone. Later, everyone. Hands, yellow, heart, red, person, turquoise, wizard, wand. She's lovely, isn't she? Our little Myra. Oh, bye, Myra. Love your hair, sweetheart. And Paulie says, not to go take it. Got to go taking the missus to the. Oh, shut up. I might get a pair, and I'd like to myself. Enjoy your weekend, friends. See you, Paulie. Ah. Isn't that lovely? Oh, see you, Myra. Hello, says Ali, all the way from Romania. TW. Bye, Myra. Later to the tea, says Myra. Yes, so can I finish off my list? My propaganda list, which is well worth a look. Fuck. Right, it's night train to Munich, as I said. Cracking little film. Sheer propaganda against those dirty Nazis. And one of the best was In Which We Serve. And it's based on a true story, by the way. Based on a true story. In Which We Serve. Noel Coward. And as I said, there's a couple of other films that, to get away from all that fucking wokeness. A couple of black and white ones. And one of them is Dangerous Crossing. Dangerous Crossing. And what it's about is it just starts off where you see a girl, about to board a liner, with other people, the crowds of them. And she's just standing there, and her husband comes and he goes, "Oh, darling, oh, yes, let's get on board." "Okay, oh, it's great, this, isn't it?" Anyway, they go up the gangplank. And Michael Rennie's in it. Michael Rennie's the doctor in it, the ship's doctor. Jean Crane is the lead actress, beautiful lady, yeah. Jean Crane, American. But I've seen her in a few films. And she's in it. It's called Dangerous Crossing. You'll get it on YouTube. So you don't have to go very far. Dangerous Crossing. I think, I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, big macho fella will sit down, put that on and go, "Oh, it's great, this." I think the big macho fella will come looking for me and kick me head in. But I enjoyed it anyway. I don't mean get me head kicked in. I mean watching the film. I'm a very sentimental person, by the way. And there's another one called Dark Times. What was it? Dark Voyage? With the beautiful Vivian Leigh and Conrad Veidt. Conrad Veidt. And who else? What was his name? Newton. Played Long John. Great actor as well, Newton. Jim. I tell you, he was good to, what's his name? What's his first name? I forgot his first name. It's not Isaac Newton. Robert Newton. Fancy forgetting his name. But anyway, Robert Newton. Great actor, I seen him in an interview years ago. I never seen it. It wasn't live. It was just like, it was done years ago. And I seen it sometime last year, just watching the telly. And he had him talking. It was in black and white as well. And it was the first time I ever heard him speak properly. Very far back. Very far back. That was his proper accent, very far back. And unfortunately for Robert Newton, he became an alcoholic over something. Forget what it was, but I will find out. And I'll tell you who helped him out. And this fella is one of the nicest people as an individual you could get. And I'll tell you who it was. It was David Niven. David Niven, another war hero. Great fella, Niven. I've read everything about him. Autobiography, everything. And he helped Robert Newton out. Robert Newton was really down and out. And he met him one day. And he just couldn't believe. I don't know whether he was sitting on a park bench or something like that. And he looked. He said, "Robert, And anyway, he brought him home, and then, let him clean himself up and whatever. He gave him some clothes, brought him out, bought some clothes for him, put him up in a hotel, and he got him a job, a starring. And that was Around the World in 80 Days. Phineas Fogg. He got him that to get him on his feet. And the boss says, Michael Rennie. Yes, I think he's great, Michael Rennie. Reminds me of watching, yes, the Z88, yeah, cracking film. Cracker. The Z88 stood still. It's one of my little faves, black and white thing, yeah. What was the thing called? Gork or something? Gork. And the girl had to say something, didn't she? Nick to, knack to, or something like that. So for it to, I don't know whether to go or stop. Nick to, knack to. That's what Michael Rennie tells the girl in it. Nick to, knack to. Just say that and everything will be all right. Okay. And it's coming towards it, isn't it? You just see the big fucking shadow on the wall because it's huge, isn't it? And she's going, oh, Nick to, knack to. And it stopped. Yes, I loved it. The Z88 stood still, remade with Keanu. Loved the original. Yeah, I did. I like Keanu, by the way. I think he's great. I think he's a very good actor. And he's not one of these people who, he really mourns the loss of his girlfriend, But she just died. I don't know whether she has an accident or whatever. And he mourns her. He didn't want to know anything. And he everybody loved working with him. All these pretty girls, He said he was a gentleman. He wasn't coming on to them or anything. And have you seen his, I think he got married the other week. Have you seen it? This is a fella who could have anyone. Shocked me. It shocked me. It shocked me. Not against the lady. She's older than him as well, I think. She's a journalist. And put it this way, I don't fancy her. Not that she'd fancy me, but I don't want to go into it though, really. But it just shocked me. Yes, so I'll be doing something on Hollywood, about Hollywood, and some of the things that what you should know about. I'll be talking about. I'm not with Anthony Brown. We'll be talking about them. Shocking, Really shocking. And some fellas, some actors. One fella's Kirk Douglas. Fucking horrible, him. Bake. Should have named him Bake instead of Cake. Bake. I won't watch any film that he's in. Before I found out about him, I want to, everyone says Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. Spartacus. He's great in there, the Vikings, he's great in there. And, but the best film I've seen him in, and it was a true story, and it was about the First World War. First World War, and this mad general, French general, and these lads wouldn't go over they were just being bombarded. Constant bombardment, and they were in the trench. And the general ordered, why don't we tell them to get over the top? And they're saying, no, we can't, we'll all be killed. We'll all be killed, and they wouldn't go over much. They would have been massacred. The big line of where they were in the trench. They were being killed while they were in the trench, but, at least in the trench, you're more safe. It's a true story. It really happened. Loads of things happened like that in the First World War. Shocking. It's like a colonel, and he goes up, and this is on the eve of the first Battle of Ypres, and he goes up to them, and I've got a picture of them, an actual picture, and he's sitting on his horse, this fucking colonel, and he said, up to now, this regiment hasn't made a name for itself, but tomorrow you shall make a name for yourselves. If you're slightly wounded, make your own way back to base. Do not take up valuable ambulance service space. If you're too badly wounded, crawl away to a shell hole and die. That was a pep talk. That was a pep talk. And that was on the first Battle of Ypres, the eve. The next day, when the whistle went, the first 2 hours of the first Battle of Ypres, there were 60,000 casualties in the first 2 hours. Due order, 2 hours. Seeing if I can put my hands on it. See if I can put my hands on the book. Up there on my desk. Fucking hell. I can't find it. It's somewhere. And you know what? When I finish this, it'll just fucking go off. It'll be there. I don't know where the fuck it is. But nevertheless, I will show you this picture. And it's shocking. Actual picture of this fucking prick. That's not there. Thought it might have been there. So you see what it's about. Wars, horrible wars. That's why I said about watching these propaganda films, during the war, First and Second World War, simply because our people, our relatives, were being bombed to fuck. So they needed something to lift them. So they needed something to lift them to say, well, the Germans are not that fucking clever, are they? But today's propaganda is totally different because everything is fucking based on lies. What you see is going on. There's a lad named LeBron James, and there's a fucking big poster of LeBron James outside Anfield with his fucking basketball. I seen it. Maybe a couple of years ago, I don't know. And he's making fucking millions out of Liverpool Football Club. Our club. A club that I've supported since I was a fucking little kid, 6 years of age. A club I went to see everywhere. Whether it was in this country or abroad. A club that's given me so many happy memories. A club that I love. And this fucking LeBron James came out the other day and said, Israel, I've only heard good things about Israel. That fucking sickened me. That sickened me. And if there's, see, you've got to understand who owns Liverpool Football Club. I'll leave it at fucking that. Who they are. Okay. But I want to see his fucking picture, poster, whatever it is. I don't want him near Liverpool Football Club. In his first year, he made £31 million by having a little fucking share that fucking John Henry gave him. So he'd just have a fucking basketball t-shirt with "You Never Walk Alone" on. Now I'm fucking upset and angry, Just can't get away from it. Pissed off. And Brent Browning. Have you seen the 1970 film The Brotherhood of the Bell, starring Glenn Ford? It's a good example of why elites toe the line of absurdity. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen too much of, too many films of Glenn Ford, to be honest. Because he was a bit of a dog in real life. Look, I mentioned David Niven before. David Niven was a really nice fella. Really nice. And you get to know these people. People try to ridicule Richard Burton, for example. Richard Burton was a great fella. Him and Liz Taylor, the unfortunate thing about those two, the intensity they had, they loved each other. they loved each other, but they couldn't live with each other. Great story behind it, by the way. And I tell you another couple as well. I was talking about them this morning in a film called 21 Days. It was made in the 30s. And that was Vivian Leigh and Laurence Olivier. And they were married. The intensity of them. And we'll be talking about things like that. Not just all love, but, you know, dogs as well. Dogs. Not them, who I've just mentioned, or Burton or Taylor, but real life dogs in the acting profession, Hollywood, and what they did. So we'll be talking about them. I hope you've enjoyed this morning. I really thank you for joining me on the thing, the podcast. Really. Because it's about, look, I keep saying this, and I think there's only 3 people who's watched it. You know, I've been getting told to watch a Fringe, you know, a series called Fringe. And I'm not being funny, but I've mentioned 3 series. And not fucking one. A couple have watched one of them. A couple. And I was really thinking, I'm wasting my time coming on here and recommending. And the 3 TV series, you know, because it is not just about films, the 3 TV series. So I'm not going to do any more of recommendations for TV series. Even films I've recommended. No one fucking watches them. Anyway, that's the TV series 3, and they're only short, like, you know, you could say that they're a mini-series, if you know what I mean. There's only 8 or 10 episodes. And I watched one series back to back. One day I woke up one morning, one Saturday morning, strangely enough, a couple of years ago, I was just sitting there, you know, before all this. And I put it on, and I watched it right through. I don't know whether it was 8 or 10 episodes, but I watched it right through. And that series was called The Outsider. Jason Bateman. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then another series with Bryan Cranston, a great actor, was called Your Honor. Was called Your Honor. Brilliant. That was 8 or 10. Eight or 10. So I recommended that. Brilliant again. And the other series was an Anglo-French thing. And it was called Spotless. It was brilliant. Anglo-French thing. And that had 8 or 10. Spotless, it was called. Brilliant. And it was about a little firm that cleans up after accidents and murder cases. Spotless. I watched it on Netflix a few years ago. It's absolutely wonderful. In fact, I might watch it again. It was that good. Well, any of the series I've mentioned, Your Honour, The Outsider, and Spotless. Well worth a look. Fantastic and great acting. But you know, I tell these things, don't fucking watch them. How many people have watched All the Devils Are Here? How many people have watched that? I highly recommend it. That's a film. And the boss says, best wishes, Frank. See you probably before the match. I can't get those series on my I am glad you continue the channel and don't let the bastards get you down. They want you to give up. Yes, you're right there. Someone else said that. Got a message through. I got a message through, boss. And that's what they said. Fucking say no to them. Just assholes. And Brent says, it was a CBS made-for-television movie of a professor who discovers his fraternity was sinister, controlling power and wealth, leading him to defy them and risk his career. And that sounds great, though, because that's what's happening today. And you're talking about Glenn Ford, aren't you, going back to 1970. We're in 2026, and it's still happening. So it's always been happening. It's all control. That's why when we had COVID, let's see if he can control the world. And he did. They locked the globe down. Destroyed a lot of things in locking down. As I said, I had a play going out. Everything, the tickets printed, everything. People had booked. And he said, I was going out, I was only going out for a week, and I get a phone call and said, listen, we might have to extend. Do you mind? I said, well, I'll have to get hold of the cast to see if they'll do another week. Because I didn't want to change the cast. They had a great cast. And he said, okay. So it would have been extended. And then all of a sudden, Boris Johnson came out and went, lockdown. And most buildings, especially where this was going on, St. George's Hall, just locked up, shut down. So the play never went ahead. Posters and that. I've got a poster there. It's in a frame. Sounds good, that though, Brent. I like that. Morning, Frank and chat. Just got back from the gym. The marriages of film stars, do you think they put themselves under too much pressure when they tied the knot? I thought you were going, Barry, when are you going away? I thought you were in Dubai. Dubai or not Dubai? That is the question. Yeah, that's what we'll be talking about. That's what we'll be talking about, Barry. And TW said, I've seen Your Honour, Frank. Brilliant. Thank you. Bryan Cranston, brilliant actor. Thank you. Do you know what? I don't know, Barry. I don't know. Will that Spotless still be? Try and get it. You know, it was on Netflix. I do know that. That's when I watched it. Or that's where I watched it, not when. That's where I watched it. Great. Great. There's a lad in it, and he was in Downton Abbey. He's like a butler or fucking something. You want to see him in this? Spotless. Fucking hell. From Downton Abbey to that. Oh! And you go. I never watched it. I watched a few episodes of Downton Abbey, you know what I mean? I think it was the only fucking thing to watch. Anyway, and not at all, obviously. But he was in there. Never forget. He was like a butler or something. Irish lad, Irish fella. You want to see him as Spotless. And you can see the range of acting with him. Yep. So, on that wonderful note, you lovely people, I'm going to finish. Poor Frank. That's why I had to throw this on. I haven't even had a shower, to be honest. Because I jumped up at it. I tell you what, it was about 16, 17 minutes past 10. So I jumped up, made myself a cup of tea, and a crisp butty. Crisp butty for my breakfast. And I get little tubs of mandarins. And I had them as well. Only a little tub like that. And I had them as well. I have them every morning anyway. And if the Snapey was listening to me, I'd murder for having bread. But I've got to have bread. I'm not bothered now because I've got to go and see the spinal fellow this week and the neurosurgeon. 2 people I've got to see. Also, the week after, I have to go and get a couple of injections, which could either make me better or do nothing for me. But I'll let you know how we get on anyway, that's for sure. Oh, Toscana. Tell Franco and Chatters just popped in to say, hope you're all well, and hopefully I can join you later on during the match. Just look at the match is tomorrow. It is tomorrow, isn't it? Yes, Sunday, 2:00 tomorrow. The match is tomorrow, Toscana. 2:00. Due ora. Okay. And the boss says, emphasise with your situation about lockdown. I had a footy academy with character building for teenagers abroad. The, in brackets, illegal, close brackets, lockdown killed it. And many social connections, state control, exit. It was, I've always said that, boss. They came out different, the likes of Washington and London and Paris and fucking Berlin and Rome. So I wonder if we can, control the globe, and they did. And it destroyed people. It destroyed my play. I'm not just saying my play, there's other things that were fucking shocking. Like when people were dying. I always remember this woman, she must have been in her 40s, 50s, talking to her dad through a fucking window. She went to see him in this care home and he died. She couldn't hold him. There was people who couldn't go to their mothers, and this is true, fathers, brothers, aunties, uncle, whatever, because there was only so many that could go to a funeral, and they couldn't even go to the funeral. Think about that. With these fucking pricks, these elites. See, mine's nothing, if you know what I mean, my play. It's nothing to what people suffered. And Brent, best films I've seen in a long while was the Korean Admiral trilogy. The South Koreans make fantastic films, and the Americans copied them. A historical epic series focusing on three major naval battles led by Admiral Yi Sun-sin during the Imjin War, 1592 to 1598. 6-year war. No, they actually do fantastic films. I've watched a few of them, actually. Tell you what to watch, Brent. Have a look at Train to Busan film. Train to Busan. Cracking film. Special effects, brilliant. The Admiral Roaring Currents, 2014. So that's another Korean thing, Brent, yeah. And Barry says, my missus likes that sort of thing, so we'll try and find that. Yeah, I think you will get it on something, Barry. Spotless. It's really good. And Brent Hansen, Rising Dragon 2022. And Norang Deadly Sea 2023. I might have a look at that Deadly Sea. Because as I said, I don't mind. But you watch Train to Busan. Lack of sleep, Franco, says Toscana. I'll join you all tomorrow. Oh. All right, Toscana, sweetheart. You join us. Hope your boy's okay. And Brent says, I had to watch them by myself because my wife won't watch my foreign epic one. It's sometimes. Yeah, that's... overnight, if I'm watching a film, I don't like disturbing, the people around me, if you know what I mean, who live next fucking door and overhead and below me. And I put the subtitles on any film, especially when I'm in bed watching a film, subtitles go on. Because people need sleep, don't they? Except me, lying in bed, just watching a film. But I do put the subbies on, but it's any film. So me and you both, Brent, with subtitles. I've seen that one, Frank. Excellent film. Train to Busan, yes. And I reckon if you've seen it, if you remember that little child in it, the little girl, when I first seen that, I said she should have won an Oscar, child Oscar. Oh, should have got something for her up and coming. She was absolutely brilliant. One of the best child actors I've seen anywhere. Train to Busan. Great film, I thought, anyway. Oh, no. Well, why don't you fucking come down and pick this fucking thing up? Just come down and get it. Been all week. I fucking well been down and got it. Comes out Monday. Because I'll be at the hospital later in the week. So if you want to come down Monday, it's there for you. Up to you, though. Your last chance. And on that note, so let me know, Barry. Fuck's sake. And don't be saying I didn't want to bother you. It's me. Know what I mean? No fucking one else. But anyway, it's up to you. If you don't want to come down and get a fucking fair enough. Yeah, the busy business father with his birthday girl. Right. What a fantastic thing. What a fantastic child actor. She was brilliant. But so was the dad in it. And there's another fella in it, and I've seen him in a few things, like gangster things and cop things, where you see him, big lad he is, and his wife's pregnant on the train. And she slaps him and everything, but he's a big, protecting her. She's slapping him and giving him dirty looks and everything. I thought that was brilliant acting. Little bit of humour. Forget his name. I loved the film. Loved it. Really did. So you're right there, Brent. You're right. So listen, I'm going, people. Thank you for joining me. Sitting here freezing. Got a little drop of water. Wish it was alcohol. Me and Anthony Brown will do well. Anthony's doing it, not me, really. and put that exhibition up in April. You know what, need the artist. Wait till you see what he's doing. Brilliant. And he wants me to talk about it. Which is, great. But more about that when the time comes, nearer the time. If I'm still around, that is. And it's cheers, Frank. See you tomorrow. Okay, T. Thank you, T. Yes, tomorrow football. Getting away, is there? Well, I'm going to finish on that. Thanks, people. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me. And hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow. I'll see some of you hopefully on Monday evening with the history show. No, Sunday, tomorrow. What I mean? Like the Jamaicans say, little more. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm awfully sorry. Oh, I'm awfully sorry. Yeah, I did say that. I apologise. But I was busy. Like, anyway, you know the score. But come down Monday, yeah, no problem. Okay? I'll see you then. Unless some aliens come for me and abduct me. And you'll be coming to an empty home. You're in. Go. I'm up in there. Cyberspace. But anyway, thank you, people. See you Monday. See you tomorrow. See you Monday, Barry. And just see you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ciao, tutti. Ciao, people.